What's up, everybody? We're back, and we're going to talk about our trip down south to Flush Los Dos. We'll also be talking about our final regular season game against Las Vegas Lights before we head into that postseason. We did secure ourselves a home game, so we will have a playoff at Papa Murphy's Park. We'll talk about all that just in a minute. Alright guys, so welcome back to the Old Glory Red Report. The supporter channel's for supporters, by the supporters. Mark Anthony with us, of course. I'm Casey J. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't seen us before and this is your first time, do make sure to go down there and hit that subscribe button. We would appreciate it. That notification button will also get you all of our videos coming out, so make sure to do that. We did travel down south to take on LA2. It was a game that we knew there was probably going to be some rotation of players, and we did see that. We knew it was a game that, we didn't necessarily have to get a result. We're already in the playoffs, but getting the win would secure us that playoff spot. We did get the 2-1 win. We did secure that spot. What did you overall think about this game, man?
I like how you refer to them as Flushing Los Dos. Awesome. I might steal that one for the future. But, yeah, first things first, they get the win. They clinch a top 3 spot.
Yeah.
There will be home playoff, at least one home playoff game at Papa Murphy's Park. Fans got to be excited. Last year we did not get a home game in the playoffs, but this year is different. I'm excited about that. So it was great to see the guys go down there in a weird game with some lineup rotation against a team that is not a playoff team, but still a pesky side, in my opinion. And we got the win. So you get the 3 points, you go down there, you continue this run that Republic are on, the momentum moves forward, and it's great as we approach the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said earlier, there's not a lot to play for here. We did get the home and field advantage, but we saw the rotation. It was good to see a player like Alamon come on. He did get the brace to give us the win. All those goals came real early, but he scored one in about 12 minutes and one in about 20 minutes, and both of them were pretty good solo efforts. The first one, Awasa feeds it into him. He cuts back onto his left. Top corner. Keeper's not going to get that ever all day.
Yeah, and you see why, as a coach like Coach Elliott, why you would play a predominantly left-footed player on the right-hand side for those moments. You get a guy on a 1v1 situation, he gives you the inside, and you got a guy like Alamon who can curl in those shots. We see it with your team on Liverpool, Mo Salah. Not that they're the same caliber player, of course, but similarly, small players, skillful, great left foot, like to hit those curlers. So you saw a glimpse of what I think most Republic fans have been missing from Alamon for most of the year, considering his struggles, his injury. So for him to get a start and put his stamp on the game and maybe gain some momentum heading in the playoffs, he might be the spark that the team will need at some point.
Absolutely, and it was fantastic. He did look on fire when he hit the field. He got the second goal. I believe it was Matty Asic, so we're playing from wing to wing, gets the ball into him. Same kind of little move. This time he toe pokes it right past the keeper. I mean, brilliant. They fell for the same thing twice pretty much. So great goals for him. I think it's going to do nothing but build him confidence going into the postseason.
Yeah, and we talked about it, I think, the last video, where we need some of these other guys other than the Bijevs, the Awasas, the Jeremy Halls, the guys that we know are going to be there and show up.
Absolutely.
We need some of these ancillary players like Matty Asic, Alamon, Isley. We need those guys to step up, because when it becomes a win-or-go-home situation, it can take one goal, one flicker of amazing play by one of these guys that gets a goal that springs a counterattack, and we're going to need it. We saw Matty Asic in the previous game step up.
Absolutely.
We saw Alamon this game step up. Fantastic. It's great that they're coming together at this part of the season.
Yeah, so we did talk about that playmaker, that kind of creator role, and it was good to see them come in and do that. Although we had the 2-0 lead, it was not held for very long. A few minutes later, Lopez does get a wide open header on the net. Not much that Cohen can do. I mean, he's just in acres of space in the box. I don't know where our defenders, they were looking like 6s and 9s out there. No one knew what was going on. Poor defending, poor lapse of judgment, lets him back in early. What are you feeling after that goal?
Yeah, it is a huge letdown because you go on the road and you're like, wow, it's 21 minutes in this game and we have a 2-goal lead. Like, usually it's pretty cut and dry after that. You just kind of take the lead, you go into halftime, you lock it down the second half, you get on the bus and you're gone, you know?
Right?
But yeah, a lot of nervy moments there, especially in the second half. You know, you give up a goal. They say in soccer, I've been told this many times by coaches before, that a 2-goal lead is the most dangerous lead, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you let your guard down, and that's what I think happened on that second goal, because two things happen. You give up a goal in a 2-goal lead, and you give up a goal right after you score. The two biggest times that teams usually have a letdown, so we saw it.
We've seen in other games where we do slump a little bit after we get a goal, and we let the other team come on us a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And I think you're right, absolutely there.
Yeah, and it's important for the team to maintain their press. So a team that likes to press like our guys do, you lay off the gas pedal, you're just inviting a lot of pressure.
Yeah, even when you're up, you've got to maintain that press.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I did predict a 1-2 victory for us on this game, or 2-1 victory for us on this game. I'll put one on my chalkboard.
I can't remember what I had predicted. I think 2-0.
I think it was a 1-1 draw.
Or 1-1 draw.
I need to get a chalkboard so we can keep track of that. Next season, maybe there'll be a chalkboard with our names up here so we can keep track of who hits it. We'll see.
We'll see how the budget looks.
So, yeah, I mean, a nervy rest of the game. I think, they got their goal just shy of 23 minutes, so that left us 20 minutes in that half and another 45 where the play just was back and forth. I think both teams had chances. Not great chances, but half chances. The big talking point in the second half for me was the penalty. First of all, is it really a penalty? Is there too much contact? You do see him kicking the shin. Matty Asic maybe is a little dramatic down there. Now, I think it's a penalty. He does kick him in the shin, but do you think Matt Asic maybe was a little too dramatic in his play?
I mean, he got the call, so it is what it is. I'm not one to turn down a penalty given.
I'm not either. I'm taking it. And I honestly think it was a penalty. There's the contact.
Yeah. I think you're right. I'm with you on this one.
I mean,
I saw it. It was harder to see, but on the replay, I think the referee made the right call.
It was the right call.
Yeah.
So then Hall steps up, not Matty Asic as the announcer would like you to believe. It was Hall that stepped up and took that penalty and misses it. The keeper makes the right save, goes down to his left, gets it. I mean, we just have the curse with that, don't we?
Yeah, it's one of those things where, especially for Hall, because he has missed prior, you want to put that in away. Like, you want to put that idea out of your mind, and unfortunately, he doesn't score on a penalty again. It is important, though, because with the playoff matches coming up, and we've seen it with the Republic in their last two years they played in the playoffs, that a game went to a penalty shootout. We were fortunate last year to win. The year before, we were unfortunate to lose. I mean, if we're going to win a championship, you have to assume that one of those games leading up to the final, and even the final, is going to come down to a penalty attempt or a penalty shootout.
Yeah, and our confidence is waning in the team being able to win a penalty shootout at this point. We just don't have anyone. I mean, I think Ellerman's missed one. Hall's missed. Wasa's missed one. Yeah. So
Moffitt, I think.
He missed one too. Yeah.
So yeah, you're kind of, you don't want to go into a playoff round not knowing who your guy is that you can. You're Harry Kane, right? Like the guy that that he might not score if the keeper makes an amazing save, but 90% the ball's going in the back of the net.
Absolutely. So kudos to Matty Asic. Good play on him to get in the box, create the penalty. Too bad Hall couldn't, get up there and convert it. But just about maybe 6 minutes later from that, Turnley, I don't know what he was thinking, kind of tries to break up play, gets a second yellow, sent off.
Seiler.
Was it Seiler?
Yes.
Sorry, Seiler. Gets a second yellow, gets sent off. Thank you. I just don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah.
You want to stay strong. You've only got about 10 minutes left in the game. We can win this 2-1 if we just stay strong. Going down 10 men is not helping us. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's easy to get them mixed up because both Seiler and Turnley are getting starts. They're getting some rotational minutes. So
I wrote down Turnley on my notes too. So,
so it's devastating because, again, when you look at the first half, you're up 2 goals. You're thinking, well, we're we're getting the win. We're getting in and out of LA as easy as you like. You give up a goal, you go into halftime. Okay, we're still up 2-1. Oh, we have a penalty. Now we can go up 2 goals. Again, put this game to bed. Yeah. Miss the penalty, follow it up with a red card. It's about as bad of a 7-minute sequence as you could really have in that game. So,
still got the result, though.
Fortunately, it didn't cost us. Fortunately, Sauer is only going to miss a game. He hasn't been a player who's played a lot of minutes, but what we've seen with the injuries that have mounted up, he's a guy that's going to have to provide minutes in the central midfield, so he might be called upon in a big game to either come off the bench or even start.
Yeah, so hopefully we don't see these lapse of judgments in those big moments right now.
We'll call it unlucky, you know?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, and again, we already kind of clinched the playoff spot, so even if we would have lost it, it wouldn't have been the biggest thing in the world, so we'll give them credit for the game, 3 points. Let's move on. Let's move over to the Las Vegas game. This is a team that's just struggling, man. I don't know what else to say. I don't think they've recorded a victory in almost 2 months now.
They've had a roller coaster of a first season in the USL with much more downs and ups, but they've been wildly entertaining to say the least. They've been a part of matches that have a ton of goals scored.
Yeah, 4 threes, 4 twos.
They've had a bunch of awesome, crazy promotions for their home games
the Llamas.
as what you would expect any team from Las Vegas in any sport to do. They even dropped money out of a helicopter onto fans. They've been doing
to be a Vegas fan, and the shirt.
So basically, what me and Casey are suggesting is SAC Republic front office. Can we get some money dropped onto the field? Yeah. So
a bear costume, helicopter, money, it all work out. Great promotional stunt.
Yeah. So this game, this Saturday, I expect a great crowd. As we approach the last game, this is the last game of the regular season. Not sure it's going to be much of a factor in the playoff standings, as Republic has clinched a top 3 spot, cannot go lower than 3rd. There's like a 10% chance we could get in the 2 spot. But we'll actually know. Yeah, we'll actually know before the game, because Wednesday night, Phoenix plays Las Vegas. So Las Vegas gets to end their terrible season against 2 of the top 3 teams in the Western Conference. I bet they're just loving that. But you got to look at this game, and you see that Republic, they'll know on Wednesday night if they have a chance for 2nd place or if they're going to get 3rd no matter what. So with that said, we might see some lineup rotation again on Saturday night. Get some guys in.
Going to, definitely.
You might rest a guy like Iwasa. You might rest a guy like Jeremy Hall, who's played every minute that I can think of. You might rest a guy like Clementa, Tainer. Yeah. I wouldn't even be surprised if Cohen doesn't get a start.
Gomez would be a good rest. He's gotten like every minute this season.
Exactly. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see some of these mainstays get a breather so that they're 100% fit, 100% rested, heading to that huge home playoff match. So I don't know. What do you see? It's hard to tell what kind of game we're going to see, what kind of a scoreline we're going to be, not knowing the lineup. You know.
Yeah, I mean, and Vegas, they score goals. I mean,
they're entertaining. I mean,
they've had games that are like 3-4, 2-3, 4-2.
I think they had a game that it was like 6-4 that they lost.
It wasn't versus LA. I think it was LA
7-3. I think they had a game.
I mean, they have a negative 26 goal difference, so they let in way more than they ever scored. So I have a confidence with the way our front line is performing. We could get goals against them. It's just whether that back line can hold up. We can't have the mistakes like we saw against Los Dos. We really need to, shirt up. They also shown that they can't put the ball in the back of the net. Now, they've been unfortunate not to win games, with sometimes scoring 2 or 3 goals. But that's just because their defense has been really poor for them this season. So.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell what their mentality is going to be like, because it's also their last game of the season. They're going to play Phoenix
They've got
on
nothing
Wednesday.
to play for either.
Yeah, they're ending their terrible season with 2 road games. So, will they play their best lineup on Saturday? Will their best lineup show up and play on Saturday? What is the mentality of their guys? What's the mentality of our guys? I think ultimately we'll probably get the win. We're at home. So even if there's some guys that are getting minutes who aren't usually starting or something like that, this is their chance to impress. Their chance to play in front of the great crowd at home. So I think we'll get a win in this game.
What's your prediction?
I'll say that we'll go ahead and get a win at 2-1. I think with the lineup rotation, we might see some cracks in our defense. So no shutout for me, but we'll see a couple goals, I think. So 2-1 at home.
Yeah, I think it'll be an entertaining one, too. I'm going to go 3-1. I was leaning towards 2-1. Since you took it, I'll go to my plan B and say 3-1. I think their defense is poor. Even if we get a Bijev in there, we get an Iwasa in there, even an Alamon who's on form right now with a couple goals, I think we can get a few past him.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 3-1. Make sure to put your predictions in the comments below. We love to hear them. You can also put them on the Facebook page at Old Glory Red Report. You can go over to the Twitter page at Old Glory Red, Instagram at Old Glory Red, and leave them there. We also are on Reddit, so check us out there as well.
Yep.
We didn't pick our man of the matches for the LA game. Who would you put as your man of the match?
Alman. He got 2 goals.
I'm going with Alaman as well, in case anyone's worried. Go ahead and put your comment on who your man of the match would have been down below. At this end of this video right here, there's going to be a subscribe button. If you haven't done that, make sure to check it out. If you like the title song, it's City of Vain, Song of the Republic. It'll be right here. Go check that out. There'll be a video that you two think you'll really enjoy over here right in front of Mark. Check that out. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, and last thing, for fans out there, I know myself and Casey will have one eye on the scoreboard on Saturday because right now it looks like there could be 4 potential opponents. I'd say it's more likely 2, but Swope Park, Portland Timbers, San Antonio, and St. Louis are all viable candidates that we could play. It's going to be interesting to see how it all washes out. We'll have obviously a video for that preview, that great home playoff match. So make sure you share this. Get your friends to subscribe so they don't miss that huge match preview for that huge first round playoff game.
Later, guys.